Hello, my friends. Peace, shalom, salam, aloha, namaste. Blessed be, and may the Great Spirit walk with you. My name is Jonathan Rydell, Director of Christian Education at the First Congregational Church in Chappaqua, and today we are honoring Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Tomorrow is MLK Day, which is one of my favorite holidays of the year. We don't give gifts, we don't have parades, we don't decorate our houses. We simply honor the life of one man who inspired millions of people to do the right thing and make great change in the world. Dr. King was a person who preached love, kindness, justice, and respect for all people, a man who fought for harmony among the races of this country and throughout the planet. And we pledge to celebrate the diversity of all humanity and end racism in our hearts and in our lives and in the world. What could be a better thing to celebrate than that? Martin Luther King was alive when we still had laws that separated black people from white people. This was called segregation. Black people, simply because of the color of their skin, had to attend different schools from whites, eat at different restaurants, pray in different churches, use different bathrooms, and even use different water fountains. And let's be clear, what the blacks had was not equal to what the whites had. Black schools often had books that were old and out of date and buildings that were run down. Sometimes they were far away from where kids lived and hard to get to. And if something broke, it took a long time to be fixed. Depending on the state of a neighborhood or the state someone was living in, Asians and Hispanics were sometimes segregated as well. Now, before this, things were even worse. Black people were once slaves in this country. But even though slavery ended and the law said that all people were free, very few black people and people of color were treated fairly. If you have ever been singled out by another group, even for a moment, you know how scary and sad that can be. Now imagine living that way every single day, every moment of your life. Martin Luther King Jr. spoke up about this. He and many others started to protest, to come together, march in the streets, and hold big gatherings to talk about this problem. A lot of people saw him as a troublemaker, but soon millions of people of all colors were asking the government to change the laws, and this time to make sure the laws said that segregation would end for good. Segregation is no longer legal, but racism still exists today. Even when laws change, it takes a long time for everyone to get on board. Racism can even pop up in our own minds and conversations, so we need to be careful and try to see everyone for the beautiful human being they are. Life in this country is so much better because of people like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. That's why having a holiday to think about him and what he stood for is so important. To celebrate it, I recommend that everyone read or listen to his famous speeches every year. Many of his speeches are easy to find, and I want you all to hear them, especially the one we call I Have a Dream. Although I have heard this speech many, many times, listening to it fills me with new hope and inspiration every time I do. It's like listening to a favorite song. I believe, like Martin Luther King Jr., that diversity and unity is God's will for us. It is the world God created, just like Eden and heaven. And I believe that we can make our world just so, by loving one another today. Thank you, Dr. King, for your words, your life, and your dream. Amen. All right, my children, I love you all very much. Please celebrate Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.